So this week we're once again joining our friends from Majestic Midways to see how a few Carnival rides are set up. This time around I'm focusing on the Sizzler made by Wisdom. It's a ride very similar to the Scrambler made by the Eli Bridge Company, and even a distant cousin maybe to the Merry Mixer made by Garbrick. And it's got a cool little trick for how they managed to get it all the way down to the ground. The ride has a small hydraulic pump that's specifically used for setting it up, and it requires an external power source. In this case, we're using the 12-volt battery from this van. First step of setting up this ride is to lower this hydraulic foot in the front of the trailer. This will support the trailer while the truck pulls away. Once the truck is out of the way, the hydraulic foot is then lowered so the front of the trailer kneels on the ground. As the front of the trailer is kneeling down, it pivots on some legs in the middle of the trailer. This causes the rear of the trailer to tip up, some pins can be pulled, and the whole wheel assembly can be removed. Once the wheels are removed, the process is reversed and the front of the trailer is lifted up in the air. This gives enough clearance to remove the feet from under the middle of the trailer. Then finally, the whole ride can be lowered flat to the ground. It's a pretty cool trick and it doesn't require any external equipment for heavy lifting. And it's not the last trick the Sizzler has. A few quick specs on this ride. It travels on a 28-foot long trailer that weighs 33,000 pounds. It requires a 55-foot diameter circle to set up, and the ride's about 18 feet tall. Uses 30 kilowatts of 220-volt three-phase power. This was the last ride of the day to be set up, so there were a lot of extra people around, people who had already finished setting up their rides. Made the setup on this ride go especially fast. One crew could concentrate on putting up the fence, while the rest of the crew could concentrate on putting up the ride. So this is what they'd call a grass cutter over in the UK. It doesn't have a deck, it's literally just the grass beneath you when the ride is running. There's a number of braces and supports that are added to the ride to reinforce it while it goes down the highway. Anything you see that's a dark yellow is one of these braces, and they all need to be removed to set the ride up. This rack holds all the fencing and the flags for the ride, and once it's empty, it can be removed. With all the braces removed, the sweeps can pivot out into position. I'm also going to be doing a build-up of that alien abduction or gravitron ride back there, so be on the lookout for that video. The sweeps need to be pinned to the center, but they tend to warp and sag under their own weights. They need to be jacked up for the pinholes to align. Once the upper pins are in place, the lower pins are a lot easier. Just a little bump to the sweep and they'll fall in place. With the center sweep out of the way, the flags can be installed and the sign raised. For transportation, the tubs are stacked in pairs, so the next step of the process is to unstack them. There's a purpose-built bracket that slides into the top of the sweep that allows you to mount a chain hoist. The top pair of cars are lifted enough for the bottom pair to rotate 90 degrees, and then it's lowered down into position. Once the upper tubs are dropped, then the foot tub can be unfolded and the lap bar raised. This fiberglass cylinder is just a decorative piece that hides the otherwise ugly-looking spindle pipe. These pieces are called seat sweep safety turnbuckles, and that's a bit of a tongue twister. They just eliminate any slack in the seat sweeps. A quick look at the control panel, and I've got the basic operating instructions on here if you want to pause the video and read through them. So that's pretty much how the Sizzler sets up. It's a pretty well-engineered ride. It travels with all the tools you need to set it up, with the exception of a 12-volt battery, and it goes up really fast. So if you like seeing videos like this, or maybe you want to see how some of these rides are restored, click that link to the left and come along for the ride.